What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Joe. I'm back here with Lewis and Wright. As you can see, we missing one. We missing our boy Menace. You know what I'm saying? R.I.P. to my boy.
Yeah, COVID got him. they clapped him.
Yeah, they kicked our boy outside. No, he just graduated, so he left us a little early. You know what I'm saying? He back home.
I got stuck here.
Yeah, he graduated too, but he's here for another week or two.
Next week
he'll be gone soon. And then me and him will be here for another month or two.
Graduate March 9th.
Yeah, so we all on our last little stretch here, and you know, I figured we try to get these videos out before we all departed ways. So I really appreciate these guys again for coming and helping me out, and let's get to it. So in our last video, we went over BMT, our BMT experience during week 0. And we tried to jump around a little bit, but we mainly only got week 0 information out. So what we're gonna try to do this week is we're gonna try to go through weeks 1 through 3 in this video, and weeks 4 through graduation in the next part. So I know a lot of you guys, a lot of feedback that I got on my last video was it was a little bit long, it was a little bit lengthy, and it was a lot of information. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to contract it all. We're gonna try to get more specific and just make it a little bit shorter. So we don't overload y'all. So I appreciate y'all watching, and thanks I hope y'all get some value out of this video. So yeah, let's get to it. Week 1, right? So you went through week 0, right? This is like the shock and awe. Like week 0 is when they get you into the military mindset where they hit you, like you get hit with a brick wall basically. And you just adjust into this military lifestyle. So week 1 is like, that's when they start building the foundation, right? Like week 0 is just, they yelling at you senseless, like you don't know what you're doing, blah, blah, blah. Week 1 is like, all right, you know, I'm here now, you know what I'm saying? Let's start building that foundation for me to become a military soldier or an airman. And the first thing that we did in week 1 was we got to know our flight and our instructors. So in week 0, and I'm gonna let them talk about the week 0 or week 1 experience in a minute, but week 1, I think it started with our first Sundays when you first start to get to know people and you just like, all right, I'm settling down. And I mentioned this in the last video, is the first Sunday is real chill, and your instructor don't come in until like the end of the day, and like they're not yelling at you, they're actually trying to get to know you. And during this first Sunday is when you go through your first Airmen's time. And Airmen's time is, like I said, when you get to know your instructor, when you get to know your flight. And I'll never forget my first Airmen's time, is because it was so emotional, because our instructor, he basically called everybody up one by one. It was like 40 of us, and he called everybody up one by one, like, hey, what's your name, where you from, what's your motivation, like, why are you here? And it was so emotional because you get to know all these different people, all these different backstories and why they end up here. And it's like a lot of people, they come from rough backgrounds, and like this is kind of like they escape or whatever, and like this is kind of like their last hope, kind of like a way to escape whatever they was going through before. And you know, hearing all those different stories, like there was this one guy, he was in school and he went to college, and he ended up having like hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, student loan debt, and he didn't even finish his degree. And just like hearing that was just like crazy, because like, dang, that's really tough. And I know it was a couple other people, I'll never forget their stories, like they had family members that passed away, they got family that they trying to support back home, like were they the head of the household, and like this is just their only way. So you know, hearing those stories, it really sets the foundation for the rest of your time there, and it really gets to know, you get to know your people, and it make that the rest of the time a little bit more intimate, I guess. So that was the first thing that we did. Do y'all remember y'all first Airmen's time, or first thing y'all did?
We didn't have one. Unfortunately, our third day, we got quarantined. So
that's right.
We got the quarantine. You know, we got our phones back. So before we all went into like our separate rooms or whatever, it had an MTI there. He was like, y'all, I want the dorm chief to take everybody's numbers so y'all can keep contact with each other while y'all in the rooms for these 14 days. So the dorm chief got everybody's numbers, and we all got on Discord, because everybody, you know, some people had Android, so they didn't want the green message. So everybody got on Discord, and from there, like, we started to get to know each other. But it helped in a good way, but in a certain way, we didn't get that, like, that feeling of working with each other every day. Like, we're talking to each other every day and getting to know each other, but we're not working and being around each other every day. And I think that, like, if we was do it in the dorms, it would have been better for, like, the rest of the weeks after.
Yeah, so like you said, quarantine. For those who didn't watch my last video, how quarantine works in BMT is if somebody in your flight tests positive, or if a couple people test positive, they quarantine your whole flight. And what they do is they take you your whole flight on these buses, and they take you to these on-base hotels, and you got to stay there for 14 days. Everybody in their own room, and the only time you leave your room is for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and for laundry. Like, yeah, and you get your phones and stuff back, and you get a TV. It's like a real life hotel. You get all your freedoms and stuff back, and you know, it sound cool at first, but like after 2 weeks, bro, y'all know how quarantine went back in lockdown. Like, if you civilian side, it's the same thing. Like, you go crazy after a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? Just being in a room 18 hours of the 20 hours of the day. Like, even if you got your phone and the TV, it still drive you crazy. So you got quarantine your first 3 days, your third day there. That's tough. I couldn't imagine. I got quarantined actually halfway through week 1, so I'll get into that in a second. But Wright, what was your first week?
Oh my
Get into
like,
yours. We all got quarantined, but at different times. But
we talking about the first week?
Yeah.
My first week was it's crazy, bro. But like my first like Airmen's time, I wouldn't say it was like really emotional. My first Sunday, I'm like, wait, did nobody just come in here and scream and wake us up? What is going on? And then they like, y'all gotta go to lunch by yourself. I'm like, I ain't even learned how to march yet. What they mean go to lunch by myself? I'm scared, but it was cool. We chilled all day. My MTI ain't come in at the end of the day like theirs did, but we just chilled all day, got to know each other. But yeah, you get to know your MTIs during the first week. We had the nicest MTI basic training. Sadly, we was his last flight, you know, but thank God for that, man. But
wait, who?
Sergeant,
okay.
Sergeant was the nicest one. Sergeant was cool, but like he was tough, bro. Yeah. Like he even told us, he was like, the first like 4 weeks, he think he was going a little bit too hard on us. And we like, what?
You know what? And he was our brother flight, so he was like right next to us. I remember his MTI, we would always see him all the time because we were right next to each other, and they would just yell at us. Like, they would come in our dorm and start yelling at us sometimes. Like, it was funny though. He was hard. I remember I heard that he got in trouble. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, bro. I might have to cut this out.
Man, he ain't getting in trouble, bro.
We heard that he got in trouble because he made one of y'all dudes cry and like break down, and he still yelled at him or something. Oh, was that not true?
That is true.
Yeah.
That was real funny. Dude was crying. I'm like, well.
Yeah. So, but
our MTIs made us cry.
Man, y'all MTIs make y'all go outside and
look
at
the moon.
And shit.
That's how, what? Bro, they used to make us, like, we used to be like, we used to do something. And they used to wait till nighttime. You know, to do the LBG drills, the fire gas bomb drills. Yeah. So we had to walk all the way to the PT pad, and we just out there standing. They like, look at the moon. Think about it. Think about why you here, bro. Everybody just bust out crying, bro. Like, hey, what y'all crying for, bro?
It never happened to us. I got mad, but I ain't never cried though. But on to the next thing.
There were a couple people will cry your first week, you know, just not because of how hard it is, but just because like it's emotional.
It's an emotional risk. Yeah.
It's a lot of things that, you know, it's a lot of people's first time being away from home, and you know, a lot of people ain't 18, fresh out of high school, and never been away from home for that long. So.
I've been in the crib my whole life. I went straight up out of high school and said, Mom, I'm gone.
Yeah.
Boy, I was done. I ain't gonna lie, my first day I was so happy, but then I'm like, bro, it's a bunch of BS.
Do this every day.
Yeah.
Every day for 2 months. But then it started being cool because they get to become your family. So I wasn't too stressed out. Like, I got people I was like super close with that was like my brother, and it was like people I just you stay over there on your side of the base or the room, whatever. But
yeah. So week 1, the rest of that week 1 was we got immunizations. You get a whole bunch of shots while you're there, and one thing you'll get is the peanut butter shot.
I ain't get that.
And he ain't get it. I don't know when you got back. Okay.
Yeah, I got it when I got back.
Peanut butter shot it's a shot of penicillin. I think I mentioned in my last video, and it's a shot of penicillin. It's real thick, liquid and they put it in your butt.
Buttocks.
And the worst thing about this is they give you this shot right before you take your first PT test. Like we got ours like a day before our first PT test. So you'll take 3 PT tests while you're in basic. One, the first one week, like just to see where everybody at, and then your second one's like week 3, which we'll get into, and that's just to like gauge also where you are before you take the final one. And if you like real behind, and like they put you on like PT intervention and stuff like that to help you out. And then week 3 or week 6 is your last PT test, is the real test. After that though, after your first PT test, what else? We got the dorm and RLA preparation, right? This is in your dress and appearance. Week 2 for you?
Yeah, week 2 we started doing all that.
Oh, okay, well, whatever. In our first 3 weeks, right, you guys, they'll start teaching you how to dress, and they'll start teaching you how to fold your clothes, and they'll start teaching you basically how to have your living area, which is called your RLA, I think it's recruit living area. And this is also like your bed, your locker, everybody get a locker, and basically how to fold everything. That, and then a whole bunch of basics that they just hammer into you. That's the main thing in week 1.
And my flight got the good end of the stick, because week 1 we wore civilians. We didn't have to fold nothing. We literally put our duffel bags on top of our lockers.
You wore civilians. What does that mean?
We wore civilian clothes. My fault. You know,
first
these
week?
are civilian clothes. Yeah, like my first week, like 5 days, we wore civilian clothes, so they wasn't too stressed on us about it. They were just yelling at us like, "Get out the door."
So when did y'all get your uniforms? Like
we was like the last flight to get ours, cause I got quarantined 3rd week and they got theirs 3rd week, and then I got mad like 4th, in the middle of the 4th week. So I was quarantined.
Okay, so yeah, I got quarantined halfway through my week 1, so we didn't have our first. You're supposed to have your first uniform issue, I think week 1, but those that got quarantined early on, they got theirs when they got back to the squadron, and that was around week 3 for me.
1 or 2.
Yeah, that was around week 3 for me.
We got ours week 3 too.
Okay, yeah. So quarantine, COVID, it really messes everything up. Like things that we mentioned in this video might be different by the time y'all go through. So, take this all with a grain of salt. This is kind of just an overview and just the best we can do about explaining our experience. So yeah, I think we spent enough time on week 1 though. That was the main things that we got done. And then week 2, and really week 3 too, we can just combine it all. This is like, once you start building that foundation, this is like when you start getting the hang of things, kind of like this is kind of just like, all right, I've been here 3 weeks, because week 2 it goes 0 week 1, and then week 2. So week 2 is really your 3rd week.
Man, not for my flight, bro.
What?
We ain't start getting the hang of things till like week 4, bro.
Well, in general, this is like you done got through the first 2 weeks of BMT, so you're just like, all right, I'm here. Like, what we got to do now? You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to actually start doing things, and for the most part, you will start to get the hang of things. You will start, and you might not be good at anything yet, but like you'll know what's expected of you by this point, and you'll know, they'll tell you, and continue to build on that foundation. This is also when you start your classes.
Week 2.
Week 2 is when you start classes, and I don't know if any other branch does this, but we go to class almost every day, and they basically teaching you about the Air Force history, what the Air Force is, and what your mission is basically, and your role in the Air Force. And it's a whole bunch of book work, and I ain't gonna lie, it's boring. The classes are boring. They're like, well, how long was we in class for? How often? Yeah,
Right.
I know. I remember 1 week, every day, like we had 4-hour classes.
yeah,
I can't remember what week it was.
We had
I was
like 2
damn.
2 hours.
yeah.
Yeah, usually two at the most though. The first couple weeks, just
Yeah,
like 2 hours.
I remember one class in specific. What was that one class, bro? It was so long.
The
like,
one before Beast.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that later. That's like
I
week
remember that
5.
class.
That was, yeah. There was a couple classes where it's just like I really struggled to stay up, and just whatever you do, just
Don't
try to
fall
stay up.
asleep.
Don't fall asleep, because they got instructors in there they'll get on you. Like if you start feeling yourself doze off, just stand up, go to the back of the classroom, get your water bottle, and
The pop a cough drop.
something like that. And they try to keep y'all engaged throughout the classes, but like most of us military dudes, like we not really like not smart. Book we not really.
That's smart.
No, I'm sorry. We not really like classroom oriented people. We just want to get out and do. You know what I'm saying? We ain't trying to sit in the lecture for 4 hours
Our
in the
job
day. Like
is
that's
literally the opposite.
yeah, that's it's dead for that. So
Yeah.
you know, y'all be cool though. They teach you a lot, and it's a lot of useful information. And it'll all lead up to the ELC, which we'll also talk about in the next video.
So
which
week
is
2,
in the course exam.
class, you studying your BMTSG 24/7. Whenever you get
Your
supposed to be
BMTSG is
studying.
your basic military training study guide.
Yeah,
it's a big book. Yeah, I mentioned that too.
It got everything. It's like all your classes in there and everything you need to know. In week 2, you start doing EC, which is entry control for your dorms. So like, if these 2 is on EC, only these 2 can open the door for somebody to get in and out the dorm. So I'll walk up to the door, and they'll be like, "What you say?" Or is that test compliment? Yeah.
Yeah.
See your cat card if you got your cat cards. If not,
cat card.
Names.
your
ID
ID.
card.
Yeah, you show them your ID, and they be like, "Please stand clear the door."
Yeah.
Do it right, bro, because when the MTIs come up there, they finna be boom, boom, boom. Open the door. And if you just open the door,
You're in
that's a
trouble.
341.
Yeah. And those like you. Yeah. And the EC is like basically like security for the dorm,
Yep.
right? So you'll have 2 people on EC every day in 2-hour increments 24/7. Like you'll have people, well, we have 24/7, like I said, and you'll always have somebody on shift. And you know what I'm saying, like if you can just try to avoid, not everybody's gonna have to do it during the hours and nobody wants to do it, like from the time of after, basically like from 10 o'clock at night to like 6 a.m. is like the worst hours, because that's after lights out when we have to go to bed and before we have to wake up. And like if you got like a 2 a.m. to 4 a.m. shift, like that's
the worst
it's
one.
terrible. And that was probably the worst part of BMT.
That's the worst one.
I hated that.
I ain't never had one of those.
You be having a good sleep, and somebody
like,
Wake up,
you got EC.
You got EC.
You wake up like,
you be so bad, man. And they got a schedule. So there's one of the jobs, I mentioned that you get assigned jobs at BMT on my last video as well. One of the jobs is EC monitor, and they're basically the one to schedule everybody on EC. Like they put everybody on their shifts, and this person will end up being hated by everybody because you're gonna get put on a 2 to 4 shift, and you're gonna just hate the EC monitor because like why would you do that to me?
I slid them a protein bar. They put me on that 9 to 10, that 9 to 9 to 11. We'll be good, bro.
Nah, luckily I was really cool with the EC monitor. He really messed with me, and you know he tried his best to keep me off them late night shifts. So I only ended up working like a couple during the whole 7 weeks we was there. So that was cool. And yeah, you also get your weapons assigned to you in week 2, right?
We did that later.
Week 2 or week 3?
Like
You get your weapons, and that's when you'll have your weapons on EC, and that's really it with the weapons for the first couple weeks.
Week 2.
Later on, you get to there's PCs and stuff. We'll get into that later. That's all for week 2, and then week 3.
Week 3 is just building off that little stuff. Like like he was saying, they teach you how to wear your clothes properly. They start getting more strict because they want you to pay attention to the little stuff. Like if it was a string right here, that's a
demerit.
Yep, demerit. That's a demerit right there.
Yeah.
So they building off them little things, and you becoming like more
Aware.
cool with your flight, more aware with your surroundings and everything.
This is like that's when we start the inspections, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got your dorm your MTIs will. Yeah, and dorm inspections and your RLA inspections, right? Not the PCs, but the inspections.
Dorm inspections is like, say if you clean your room at home and your mama come check everything in your room,
Like
literally everything.
She getting under the bed.
Yeah.
She making sure your bed made up. Yeah, she checking for dust.
Dust everywhere.
Yeah,
So that gotta be clean.
Every morning and night, we'll clean the dorm, and basically your dorm is inspectable throughout the day. So like if you leave for class, your MTI could go up to your dorm and just check everything. And this is also a time, I don't know, is this when y'all MTI started thrashing y'all dorm because it wasn't inspectable?
Oh, yeah.
So if your dorm is a mess, or if they find something or too many demerits, you'll come back from class one day and like your whole dorm, you'll see beds tossed, you'll see clothes thrown out of drawers.
So they took the time to unfold your socks.
Oh,
Unfold your socks
time
is balled up and
to-
folded. They pop them out.
tie your
bro.
shoelaces up. And
That's
just
what I'm
throw 'em.
saying,
Like,
bro.
It's so micromanaging. Like they do it on purpose. Like your dorm could be dang near perfect to y'all standards.
They gonna
but
find that
they
one
gonna
thing.
find one thing.
That one thing, bro.
Find a reason to thrash everything.
Like one day we chilling, bro, and all the bed we had just got done making all the beds and everything, and not even our MTI came in. Another MTI came in,
Mhm.
so he just started walking around, and they had this bed. It was like this. It wasn't grounded by like this much, bro.
Yeah, your bed's got to be aligned. Like, yeah, they
In a
got to be
straight
straight.
line.
Came and
All
was like,
come
this
bed.
bed isn't grounded, and he just grabbed the bed and just threw it. I was like, God. I'm like, really, bro? Why you just had to do that?
So unnecessary, man.
But it's all to better you as an airman and to better you as a person. Like you gonna have lazy people. Just make sure everybody get their work in and paying attention to everything they doing, bro.
Yeah, this is also when like the weak links of the flight, which there's not really you're only as strong as your weak link, but this is when your weak links are exposed.
Man,
like,
I want to kill our weakest.
There's gonna be people on your flight that's gonna be like the main ones tearing it, like not tearing y'all
getting
down,
y'all in
but
trouble.
getting y'all in trouble. Like it's always gonna be something wrong with his area or her area, and that's always gonna be the reason why y'all dorm end up getting thrashed. Y'all end up doing push-ups or sit-ups or something. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta make sure that accountability is the biggest thing that you learn in BMT and just the military in general.
Not being
Like, you're-
selfish.
Yeah, not being selfish and just making sure your airmen and you looking out for your airmen, making sure their area is cool. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, you can be perfect, you can be cool with BMT and not ever get in trouble. But like, if you got somebody weighing y'all down, y'all gonna still get in trouble
Y'all
because of it.
constantly get in
Yeah.
So
trouble.
y'all gotta make sure that everybody's
It's not
cool.
it's not a one person thing. Like you said, like it's always gonna have that one person. If it's always that one person, the whole dorm getting in trouble. So it's not just gonna be that one person at the end of the day. 'Cause y'all gonna get in trouble for not helping them out and checking them.
Yeah, y'all gonna get strong though. Like if y'all keep, y'all just gonna be doing push-ups till the MTI get tired. And he's not doing push-ups, so he's not gonna get tired.
Yeah, you gonna get strong.
Y'all do
Yeah,
some
I did,
bed
bro.
drills.
Yeah.
Man, I freaking hate. Bed drills is you gotta make. What it's like
Take your
40
bed
people.
apart.
You take all your sheets off your bed. You got a mattress cover, and then like two fitted sheets and a top cover and a pillow. Dang, in a dust cover. So you got to put all them on your bed. They
Perfect.
You gotta fold
They
it.
got to be perfect.
And hospital corners too.
Hospital
Like,
corner.
make it-
Man, that'll be another
like-
video, bro.
Like,
That's
I'm
it.
gonna make a video on all of this too. Just how to have your RLA looking and have everything especially ready. I'm gonna tell you how to fold clothes, stuff like that. That's really everything. No, I don't want to make this video too long. Like I said, we're gonna make a third part of week 4 through graduation week. I would make a video for graduation week by itself, but we didn't do much for our graduation. Like I said, we didn't have a regular
We just had a course
graduation. Yeah, so we didn't do much. So that won't be as long.
And my MTI was crying at graduation.
Really,
Really,
our
bro.
MTI
They
didn't like
loved
it.
us. Hey,
Our
they
didn't like
MTI loved
us.
that
We
flight,
had to
bro.
do push-ups after we graduated.
That was y'all.
Yeah, that was us.
Y'all hit them,
He like, everybody on your face last time. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
man.
man. I was happy.
Loved us,
I was
bro.
happy.
Yeah, we're gonna get into all that. We're gonna get into it. But that's really it for weeks 1 through 3. If you have any questions that I did not, get the answer in this video, please leave them down below. I'm gonna put the IGs in the link too in the description. Make sure to hit us up. I appreciate y'all watching.
Keep watching the first video too,
Yeah,
bro.
y'all, we
Run
got
them
that first
numbers up.
video at like 1.5K on like
Thanks
my
to
third
y'all,
video.
bro.
I appreciate that. I appreciate our love too. I didn't expect this much support so early on. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one,
Emotional.
y'all.
Emotional for the crowd.
I'll
That's
see
what
y'all.
made
man.
him soft.
All right, he was crying at BMT, bro.